Welcome to the Undrafted Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanger. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Welcome in everyone to Undrafted Uncensored, where guess what? It is golf's version of St. Patrick's Day today. The Phoenix Open has begun.
I love it.
You got to practice before actual St. Patrick's Day, so what better way than in the middle of a desert when it's 60 degrees and sunny?
Is that the one?
I wouldn't mind being out there.
Yeah,
I want to go just once now. Like after all the shenanigans everybody does, I just want to see it just once more than anything.
All right, guys.
I want to participate.
The next fucking guy that says shenanigans is getting pistol whipped.
What's the name of that place that you like with all the shit on the walls?
Shenanigans.
See, if I had a gun, I probably wouldn't have it.
I was gonna say the Waste Management Open is by far the most entertaining. I think that tournament was made for John Daly.
Oh yeah,
like it's basically the biggest party in Scottsdale. I know, our mutual, coworker friend Dante Gomez at the station. He went down there. I know he's there last year. Obviously, he's not there this year. Not yet. Maybe he's leaving town tonight. But he went down last year and said it's wild. It's a party. And funny. Golf is such a it seems like a prestigious or elegant. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like an uppity game.
Classy.
And then you have the Waste Management Open, and it's just a party. And even the other ones, you don't see it on TV, but man, it is a party. When I worked the U.S. Open event that was at, I can't remember where it was at.
Castle Pines?
I was working the bar. It wasn't Castle Pines, no. It was the one off University. Whatever. Cherry Hills.
Anyway.
But yeah, so I worked there. It was still a big party. The people up close, they're a little bit more tamer when they're, behind that rope. But man, there were shots being poured, and it was a little bit more than I thought that would happen there.
Huh.
Yeah.
I learned something new today. Maybe I've been taking this golf thing a little too not serious enough.
Yeah, no, from what I understand, golf is an excuse to go outside and drink. And then also there's, golf. So, that's how it should go, man. Was this when you were drinking, Colin, or were you sober at the time?
No, I was working, so I wasn't drinking there.
That's fair. Either way, you would have not been drinking. Hopefully.
Yes. But I was totally surprised at the atmosphere that was created around that tournament. And I'm sure it's just to another level in Phoenix.
Huh. That's insane. Like like you said, you see what you see on TV is what you expect it to be because you have and he makes the approach.
Yeah.
Goes onto his backswing.
Hello.
Down the fairway.
I'm telling you, there's bars at like every hole. I'm not even joking. Maybe it's every other, but I was at the 17th turn to the 18th, and it was packed like the whole time.
Now, do the pros actually hit you up for something?
Well, the pros are on the course playing.
I know, but do they?
They're not leaving the course to go get a beverage.
They send a caddy.
There might have been a caddy. I don't know if I would recognize it or not.
It's just they're increasing their own efficiency.
Like I said, John Daly.
You got to get into the right frame of mind.
Well, there's other golfers and there's John Daly too. John Daly, the dude waking up with a, smoking a heater right away.
Yeah, like he's not on the skill level, but he's the Babe Ruth of golf.
Yeah, not on the skill level anymore. There was a moment in time where he was up there,
where he was just straight up the Babe Ruth of golf.
Yeah,
he was.
The Sultan slot.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Golf. It was interesting because you would see the crowds following some of the players, and then obviously once the big name players came, the bars, the food areas, all that stuff just got flooded.
I mean, it makes sense.
And
if you're
I don't
standing
know.
around at the hole waiting for the next group of golfers to show up, like you're just kicking it. Yeah, you're going to want to have a beer, have a cocktail or something while you're kicking it. I feel like
just sitting outside in the sun.
Yeah, like you're just chilling, hanging out, getting dehydrated, turning your pee dark. You might as well just start drinking,
I'm convinced more people were there to yell, "Get in the hole," than anything else.
I hope so.
I mean, it makes sense. Especially once you start drinking, who isn't going to find that funny at that point?
I want to show up dressed up as Adam Sandler's caddy from Happy Gilmore. I think I could pull it off.
Dye your hair blonde.
Was he blonde? I thought he was.
Yeah.
The kid, not the old. Well, but then he got the kid. Remember, he got the young kid.
Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking of the homeless guy that I look like. Yeah,
the homeless guy at the start.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I don't think I could pull off the kid. I could pull off the homeless guy real well, though.
Oh, man.
That's the joke. I was gonna say Kevin Nealon, but again, yeah, I'd have to shave and cut my hair. Yeah. That's too much work. I'll go on vacation, but I won't do that.
Speaking of vacations, it's about that time for the All-Star game to come up for the NBA. Did you guys see the teams that were put together by their respective coaches?
Yes, the team I suggested happened. The straight up Team Europe, Jokic, Giannis, he added Shea and Alperen Şengün, just no passing. And then at the very end, he was out of European players. So he got Donovan Mitchell, which is low key kind of insane. I'm so happy it was Charles Barkley that picked it. So we straight up get a Team Europe and we get a team old guy because that was Shaq's theme. He's I'm taking old legends. And the video when he gives every player a middle name that they don't have, I'm going to take LeBron Eduardo James. It was great. Sorry, go ahead, Colin.
No, I was just going to say, I thought I read somewhere that LeBron picked AD, though. I don't know.
LeBron didn't pick anybody.
I thought I saw something
No,
but
Shaq,
I know it's funny that LeBron
he is on the same team.
Shaq picked both of them. No, it was Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck. And so you can tell, Kenny's out there picking a whole bunch of just gritty, hardworking guards. Shaq's out there picking legends, and Chuck's out there just picking dudes he likes. It was so, perfect examples of who those guys are. Kenny picked all the dudes from New York that work hard. It was awesome.
I was it's kind of like we said, kind of like what we predicted what it was going to be.
Yeah.
For those guys, it was all right, this is how they're going to pick. And it kind of worked out that way. I think, I'm guessing Charles or Barkley, well, I don't know how they picked the order that they picked because I know Shaq loved Jokic. So,
yeah, no, it was Shaq went first. He took LeBron.
Okay.
And then Kenny took Brunson.
That's why Barkley got Jokic.
Yeah. Well, Jokic went last in every other pick'em he's ever been involved in because they all know he doesn't try. So when Barkley picked Jokic first, Chuck and Shaq both laughed at him. He doesn't try in the All-Star game, right? And since it was a snake draft, Chuck went again. He's like, all right, fine. Well, then give me Giannis. He'll try. It was really funny to watch. I recommend going and watching the YouTube video.
Jokic will pass with the ball, he'll hit the three, and he'll win the MVP, just like he did in the All-Star game 3 years ago.
Can't wait.
So for those of you that don't know yet, just so I can get them out, we'll start with Team Shaq. Save the best for last.
Bring them out.
Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry, AD, Kevin Durant, James Harden, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, and Jason Tatum. That's Team Shaq. Team Kenny is Joe stated, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Jaren Jackson Jr., Evan Mobley, and Jalen Williams.
Okay, my mistake. Kenny took Anthony Edwards first. He went, I'm taking Ant-Man. That was who he took first. My bad. It wasn't Brunson.
And then finally, Team Chuck. We'll start with the one and only Nikola Jokic, Giannis, SGA, Donovan Mitchell, Alperen Sengun, Pascal Siakam. Is that what it is?
Siakam, yeah.
Thank you. Kat and Victor Wembanyama.
Let's go. Big men to the rescue.
Just all big men and then to the rescue. Just all big men and then Shea and Donovan Mitchell. Like, that's kind of fucked up.
They're going to play zone the whole time and just stretch their arms out. And that's it.
Yeah.
Red Rover.
He's going to put Giannis at the 3. Because he's going to have Jokic playing center. He'll have Şengün next to him. And then it'll be Giannis. Like, and then Mitchell and Shea. Like, that's horrifying. I love it. I can't wait. Or maybe he plays Cat at the 4. I mean,
all those teams are. I mean, they're all stars for a reason. I mean, all those teams are really good. It's funny to see the makeup though of them, and like you described it, Joe. I think you described it perfectly. They all picked their types of guys, and I have a feeling if Shaq had been at the end, he would have picked kind of a similar, maybe not quite as similar, but he would have taken Jokic first. In that case, because I don't think Kenny was going to take Jokic. He was definitely going to go guard.
No,
but it was whoever was there, and you can't, even though LeBron.
Kenny said he's like, my theme is young and hungry. I want guys that'll play hard. He took like Jaren Jackson Jr. third.
Yeah.
Like it was him, like Jaren Jackson and Jalen Brunson got taken way too high, but I kind of love that. Like it fits their theme. It fits what they're going for. So we'll see what happened. But I feel like Kenny and Shaq were going to wait and take Jokic last, just out of tradition.
Yeah, Charles. Yeah, Barkley isn't going to let that happen. But that's
I don't think he even knew about it.
It should be an entertaining watch at least. I hope it's a little bit better than past years. I mean, I know we'll get to the NHL one, but both these All-Star formats being different is something that should be it should make it more entertaining, and I'll at least watch for that value. Even though I think the basketball is the one that will be, once again, the least competitive because it's just, they're going to be going up and down the court. And I think that the hockey one will be really good because of the 4 nations, but the basketball, it's cool. We'll see how these guys actually coach. If it's similar to even what Peyton and Eli just did in the Pro Bowl games, like it would, I hope it's fun and entertaining because I at least want it to be worthy of a watch. I don't need it to necessarily be competitive. Sure, would I like it to be, but it should be worthy of watching and
entertain me.
The game itself has not, it's become not watchable or it's become unwatchable.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there'll be clips here and there of some crazy shit and the really fun stuff, like when Jokic and Luka and Giannis. I think Giannis was the coach because he was hurt. So it was like they're all just passing it back and forth, no dribbling, and Giannis was so fucking excited. He's like, "Yeah, European basketball," and stuff like that. Like that's really funny. But that's like 10 seconds out of the entire All-Star game.
Yeah, there's only so many off the backboard dunks that you can watch. It's still amazing, but it loses some of its luster after the 10th one.
Yeah, right.
Especially when you're not really beating a guy. You literally are passing it to yourself.
Yeah. Well, and like what could happen too is that the competitive nature of these guys comes out because it's like a tournament style. You got to play more than one game, so they don't want to lose. So what worries me is that someone could end up getting hurt because these guys end up having too much fun and trying too hard, maybe. I don't know. I don't really foresee that, but it's possible if they actually start trying because of the whole format. Like, we're not going to lose to the Rising Stars team because that's the 4th team that we're going to see in this. So that'll be kind of fun too. Also, it's weird not. I guess Wembanyama is an all-star, so that's why he's not part of the Rising Stars. But it's weird not having Wembanyama as part of the Rising Stars because that would have been kind of funny. Like, oh shit, they got kind of an edge. Like Rising Stars got Wemby.
I wonder if my bet counts for the All-Star game. Any of them. Tatum scoring 60, LeBron scoring 60. No, I know it doesn't, but it'd be great. I mean, there aren't that many. I mean, there are a lot of rebounds. Maybe Wembanyama gets his 30 rebound game or 20 rebound game or 20 block or 30 rebound game, excuse me. In this,
no one's going to try to like fight him for him.
No. I don't know if there'll be enough playing time, but
yeah, because they're only playing to 40, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty quick games.
It would I am excited, like I said, to watch it. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out.
What could possibly go wrong?
And then again, another segue right there. What could possibly go wrong? I don't know, but the NBA trade deadline is definitely asking that question right now. What could possibly go wrong with one player being traded 4 times in 24 hours?
Shout outs to Dennis Schroeder.
Yep.
Schroeder the shooter.
Can you imagine, like, you get the first phone call, hey, just so you know, we're trading you to X, Y, and Z. Okay. And so you need to call this person with this team, they'll get you all set up. And before you can make that phone call, oh, hey, by the way, they just traded you again. And so you need to call this team and this person now. And you get that phone call 2 more times. Like, at what point do you say, just let me know when you're done?
Yeah. Is it 3:00 yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, yeah. Am I finally done? I'm just picturing him like getting on a plane each time. God damn it!
Yeah, I know. You land, you get the text message, you've been traded again. Mother.
Like, I just landed in Utah. I don't even know all the teams that he got traded to. I just saw that he got traded 4 times.
Miami, Utah, was it the Bucks?
I figured Utah had to be. That makes sense. The Bucks did the Kyle Kuzma, Chris Middleton trade. Because he was on Brooklyn at the beginning of the year. And then they traded him to, I want to say, the Lakers or something. Like, I'm trying to remember where he was at the beginning of all this, because then maybe I could retrace the steps of, trades I heard of and figure it out. But I could also look it up, but we'll let Nick do that.
Yeah, keep talking.
But I think it's just funny that kind of goes down. But I mean, now that the deadline's over, like, we can talk about actual threats now. Like, are we worried about Dallas? I'm not. The overly reliance on defense is maybe a little bit worrisome. I don't think they have enough bigs to really go with Jokic, because Lively, I don't think, is coming back this year at all. The Lakers getting Mark Williams was pretty fucking sweet, though. So they now have a lob threat for Luka. He's an underrated center playing in Charlotte for the past few years. So don't feel bad if you've never heard of him. He just came from Charlotte. But he's 7 foot, super athletic. So they didn't solve their center problem necessarily, but they have a guy who can play the position, who's kind of young too. So maybe he ends up kicking some ass. What do you got, Nick? Do you have the trade?
Golden State to Utah, Miami, excuse me. Golden State to Miami, to Utah, to Detroit.
Love it. Okay. So did he get traded? He must have gotten traded in the Dorian Finney-Smith deal, and then somehow got rerouted to Golden State.
He was traded on December 14th to the Warriors.
They just traded for him, didn't they? They just wanted Schroeder.
And then he ended up in Detroit because of the Jimmy Butler deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they had to, which is that's another one that's like, all right, here we go. Did they give up way too much for him? Yes, but that's still going to be a hell of a combo. Steph and Jimmy, like, Jimmy can set screens for him. Jimmy can score in the paint. He can bring a lot of that defense. Like, having Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green out there to facilitate and make your offense run smoothly, like, that's going to be kind of scary. I'm still not like scared of them, but that's kind of fun. Obviously we talked about it on last pod, but Luka, that one's kind of a big deal.
Well, yeah. The West definitely got better, and it's going to be a much more difficult path to the NBA championship now with what happened out here.
I don't think it did. I think in the future, but right now the Lakers, they don't really
think Memphis improved?
Memphis, yeah.
You don't think the Warriors improved when they had nobody besides Steph?
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, they did improve.
Dallas might have gotten worse, but these other teams improved, and it's way more top heavy. And you already have the Thunder, who are really damn good.
I was thinking the Kings didn't improve. I don't think the Lakers or Mavericks improved, but you're right. I forgot about
Mavericks. I think the Mavericks. I'm sorry.
Luka improved.
Yeah, Luka improves the Lakers big time.
I think they need to figure out how they're going to run everything. I think that'll be next year. But if they get it all figured out, all of a sudden,
we'll see. The championship.
No, they didn't make the playoffs the first year Kyrie Irving came in. and then they drafted Derek Lively, and then they went to the championship. But I don't think it's gonna be like, I don't think the Lakers missed the playoffs.
So,
but,
like I just said, he just played with Kyrie Irving, and they made it to the championship game last year.
Yeah. But the first year that they were together, they missed the playoffs because the team wasn't quite perfectly built around what Luka does best. And the Lakers had like pretty close, but they weren't going to be able to build like what the Mavericks had around him right away. So we'll see. But I mean, I don't think they necessarily. I guess for the long haul, absolutely. Like Luka's the face of the league. Next year they're going to be terrifying, but this year I think is the worst that team looks.
I think Luka improves them significantly. AD doesn't play a whole lot. Dude gets hurt every other game, or he's hurt every other game.
Oh, true. But they gave up a lot of stuff. They lost Dalton Connect. They lost Max Christie. They lost a lot of pieces. Like, don't get me wrong, Luka's worth all of that. It's just I don't know if it's going to show up in championships until next year. But like this year, you don't want to see that team in the first round because anything can happen.
I don't know. I would be slightly nervous seeing them.
I kind of want it. I like the rivalry with the Lakers, and now them having a guy like Luka that's like friends with Jokic, but it's like a friendly rivalry. Like I'm kind of excited for the future matchups between the Nuggets and the Lakers.
Like I'm sitting here, and when you're talking about this, we talk about the playoffs. You don't play a deep bench. We've talked about that before. I know that the Timberwolves did last year, and they played a little bit deeper than most teams. But when you look at the history of it, it's not that deep of a bench, and these guys going out there, and a guy like Luka, who will probably be in shape by the playoffs, will be fine. And we're leaving out, the Sacramento Kings. I know they got rid of De'Aaron Fox, but Zach LaVine comes there. De'Aaron Fox goes to the Spurs. We just talked about Wembanyama in the All-Star game. Like,
the Spurs are now
Chris
like
Paul eventually breaks down. De'Aaron Fox
the Spurs
is
are
still
playoff
there.
Team right
now.
Like
The West got so much more difficult. Houston's been playing good basketball. It's tough. There's no doubt that, if you're out in the East, you put two of those teams out in the East, and it's between them and the Celtics.
Well, yeah, but it's been that way for years. That's just the status quo of basketball. The Western Conference is like
better this year.
It's at the beginning of the year, yeah, but like at the deadline, I feel like a lot of things shuffled around for sure. But like the Kings got worse, but the Spurs got better. So we got that. But then a lot of other teams got worse, other teams got better. So like I don't really think it but it was just crazy what went down and all the moves. And now I'm looking at buyouts.
But you could argue the Kings might have gotten better getting Zach LaVine in there instead of DeRozan or
instead of Fox. Instead of DeRozan.
I think LaVine and DeRozan. He might play a more complimentary game with Sabonis.
LaVine is more of a singular dribble shoot guy. He's kind of like a shorter Carmelo. He does a lot of like him and I keep trying to say DeAndre Jordan, and that's not his name. DeMar DeRozan in Chicago. It almost felt like there wasn't enough basketballs to go around because they're both very high volume shooters and they're both very good ball handlers. I feel like it's not. LaVine's had a great year though this year. He's had like one of the best years of his career. So if he continues that, then that'll be sweet. But Fox and Sabonis had such a sixth sense to each other, and I think Fox is a better passer than LaVine. But who knows, man? We'll see. The Kings, it's just sad. It feels like they're just destined to be the 8th seed every year forever. But we'll see, man. Watch all these teams be, top, and, other teams are fighting for play-in games. But I don't know, man. I feel like it didn't really get hard. But next year looks terrifying is what I'm saying. Like Memphis will be even better. The Rockets will be even better. The Lakers will build around Luka. I think the Mavericks will probably fall off. But maybe they all of a sudden just become the grit and grind Grizzlies and nobody can score on them. Anything's possible.
I don't know. Go ahead, Colin.
All I was saying is the Mavericks, yeah, you can say that those teams, they definitely got worse, but I think the Mavericks are in a total rebuild spot right now. I don't think you get rid of Luka, say, and bring in AD, who gets himself hurt walking down the street. So that's a rebuild. So yeah, they're going to be worse. But I think that, like I said, the teams that are at the top, besides the Nuggets and the Thunder, I think they improved their standings, especially for playoff basketball, because it's that top heavy roster, and that's what we're looking at. So who's gonna, I'd be afraid of facing LeBron and Luka for 40 out of 48 minutes.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be interesting to watch to see how this really affects these races. You got the All-Star break coming up too, so and the buyouts. There's some buyouts out there that could benefit some teams. So we'll see what those brings. Let's try that again. English.
Yeah.
What those bring. And speaking of waiting to see what those bring, there were 4 former NFL players that were waiting for a knock at their door, and smallest class in quite a while. So 4 former players are the class of 2025 heading into Canton. And those would be cornerback Eric Allen, defensive end Jared Allen, no relation, tight end Antonio Gates, and the one I'm happiest about, just because near and dear to my heart, wide receiver Sterling Sharp.
Yeah,
I'm very happy for Sterling. I still remember in Shannon's speech. He's the only guy in the NFL Hall of Fame that's the second best player in his family. I still remember that line to this day. And, it was cool to watch him go and tell Sterling that he was in Canton.
Yeah.
Tomorrow they're supposed to do the NFL. I think NFL Network is doing their special on the 4 inductees. Shannon's going to make us cry.
Well, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to punch him in the face for it. I'm really not, because the man scares me. But
I was going to say, well, Nick, it was nice knowing you.
It was nice knowing you.
We're just going to get used to you not being on the broadcast anymore, Joe. It's Undrafted Uncensored with 2 of us from here on out.
Unfortunately, for the foreseeable future, Nick will be eating out of a straw.
Yeah, Nick was in a sharp accident.
And it's so sad that his career was cut so short. So I almost wanted to say long overdue, but I don't think it is. I think he needed to wait because he didn't have the longevity. And this is one of those years where Sterling Sharp gets in, because it's been one of those guys where he's kind of been on the edge, but a lot of us have kind of pretty much considered him a Hall of Famer. It's just, when will it actually happen? Yeah. We hope he wouldn't have to wait 50 fucking years like Randy Gradishar. I think this is kind of perfect timing. It worked out really well. I almost forgot that he wasn't in,
Oh, really?
It goes into a lot of the Steve Atwater and even Gradishar talk. You have to also get out there and promote yourself and do some stuff. And I think Shannon was a big part of that, a proponent of it. You mentioned his speech. It is in a lot of ways, your numbers mean a lot, but it is also a lot about popularity and recognition. And so as the years wore on, there were less and less people who watched him play or remembered him at his prime before his neck injury. And so,
which was amazing. Did he win any Super Bowls with the
No, with the Packers? So. I don't. With Green Bay, I'm pretty sure he was right because he was right in between them winning with Favre. He got hurt. I thought, yeah, he got hurt. They didn't actually make it before that or something like that. And then they brought in Antonio Freeman.
Freeman was nuts. They had that whole team, Dorsey Levens.
Yeah,
they were just really good. That's why it was one of the best Super Bowls ever. When we beat them.
Yeah, so he was not part of the beating the Patriots squad in the Super Bowl, but it was longevity. And you're right, this is one of those years with not a lot of people. It's like, okay, it's time to get him in there. There was the stuff with Antonio Gates. Obviously, there was PED stuff that was around with him that kind of hurt his cause. So, these guys getting in, is it one of the best Hall of Fame enshrinement classes ever? No, but I think we can agree that these guys were Hall of Famers. So that's not like it doesn't feel forced. At least it just feels like, okay, this is a good Hall of Fame class.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
kind of goes to the point of there should be a second level.
And I feel like there sort of is with just like they just don't really annotate it at the Hall of Fame with like first ballot or not first ballot. Because I feel like that's the other level. Is if you're a first ballot Hall of Famer, you are on another level. You are, Peyton Manning, John Elway, I believe Champ, etc. Guys that are, got in immediately versus guys that had to wait a little while. Like as much as our generation loved Jared Allen and Antonio Gates, they weren't necessarily first ballot Hall of Famers. Antonio Gates was the best tight end in the league for a while in his time, but I wouldn't say he's like the best ever.
No,
it's
there were talks
of ahead of him.
Yeah, there were some talks at some points in time where he was. I don't think he was ever the best in the league, but he was up there in those conversations.
Oh, I'd say he was. Right after once Tony Gonzalez got old, it was Gates. There was nobody better. He was just could not be stopped.
There was still Gronk in the league at that point too, though.
Well, no, once Gronk came on, yeah, but Tony Gonzalez was done in like mid to late 2000s, and Gronk didn't get drafted even until 2011. So he wasn't really the best until the teens. So there was a good period there where Antonio Gates. Jimmy Graham was really good, but he wasn't better than Gates. Like Jason Witten wasn't better than Gates. Really good, probably Hall of Famer, but Shockey was around the same time, a little older though. Like Gates was it, dude. But like I said, like you're saying, like you're trying to think of other guys because he doesn't feel like one of those all-time. Like he's maybe top 5 all-time tight ends, but I think he definitely deserves to be in it. I think he was the best in the league for a while. It's just they didn't do anything with it. Him and Rivers, it was it's almost like they inspired Brady and Gronk, but could never actually win like Brady and Gronk. But yeah, there was a time I'd say from once Gonzalez went to the Falcons in like 07, 08 or whatever until 11 or 12 or so, there's Gates number 1.
Yeah, like I said, I think he was up there, but I don't know if he was ever. I think it was always a conversation, not really a no doubter. I guess is more of what I'm thinking of, or how I'm viewing it.
Well, I think too when he was in the league, he was in the AFC West where there wasn't. When he was playing, there weren't a whole lot of us, like you said. After Gonzalez left, there weren't a whole lot of tight ends in the AFC West that were really flashy at that time.
Well, in the West, but like I said, there was still, Jimmy. Like I said, Jimmy Graham's going to be up there as far as we talk about it. I know he's not.
But he was never the best in the league.
But what?
Jimmy Graham was never the best tight end in the league, though.
He was
maybe 1 year at best.
In the statistical categories, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like when you're looking at the Hall of Fame stuff, like in those certain numbers that became a very big part of the tight end talk, and what numbers are you putting up? Jimmy Graham was, phenomenal. Jason Witten was catching touchdowns, and I'm not saying that like there was a year that he wasn't the best, but I think there was still a lot of questions about if he was. Whereas when you look at a bunch of these years with like Travis Kelce, like there's no doubt he was the best tight end in the league. We saw Shannon Sharp dominate for years. I think there was more stuff surrounding him than we remember, and it really didn't stand out because you also had, all these passing records being broken, and there were all the quarterback numbers that skyrocketed, which overshadowed guys like Gates.
Yeah, for sure. And then the tight end wasn't like the number 1 receiver in the way offenses were designed a lot of the time for his tenure too. And he also played forever. So, it got to a point to where he was just still out there, but that, leads to his overall stats too. Like like I said, I think he was always going to be a Hall of Famer. He was kind of on that same level as Sterling Sharp. He was one of those guys that's just he's going to get in, and you remember him as, like I said, I think one of the best tight ends of that 2000s era. And for a while, like he was the guy. There's nobody else that you would rather have at that, if you're never going to build your team around a tight end was the problem when he was really good. But, look at Madden rankings. I'm sure he was top. because that means so much, right?
Oh yeah.
Hey, why don't you guys go pull up the Hall of Fame rankings and where he sits?
Dude, I'm sure Antonio Gates is like a couple Kellen Winslow's away from.
Hey, I just read what's in front of me. Don't hate. You know what? Good. Speaking of hating, I got to give love to PS2 right now for going up there and accepting a Defensive Player of the Year award on behalf of Myles Garrett.
Yeah, and that's how you met Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good sport right there to go up there and accept that award on behalf of Myles Garrett.
I didn't know Myles Garrett played two positions like Travis Hunter. Like, he's a pass rusher and the best corner in football. That's crazy.
Talented.
Yeah,
he's so talented.
But really, congrats to PS2 for winning Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, there was obviously nobody better in the league. No offense to Myles Garrett. He's a very, very good defensive lineman. But
Trey Hendrickson was one who was in second.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Really?
That's a massive
Myles Garrett was third.
Wow.
Trey Hendrickson led the NFL in sacks.
I was watching the Avalanche and the Nuggets yesterday, so I didn't see the final tally.
No excuses. I was working.
Oh, very much so an excuse.
Basketball and watching the Avs.
I was watching the Avs and the Nuggets. I forgot that was on, actually.
I didn't really care about the
I'll own it right now. I totally forgot that was on.
Yeah, I popped on my screen. I was like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, I was like,
oh, I saw the ESPN headline and I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm going to watch the Nuggets. I was having fun after NBA.
Watch the Nuggets have their practice.
It was a good practice, though. Let me tell you, some of those kids, they're not looking terrible. The problem is none of them will get a single minute in the playoffs. But hey, who knows? Maybe they signed Ben Simmons.
I just needed Christian to get 4 more points, but I still had a good night with his rebounds. Thank you very much. Plus money for 6.
Very nice. Very nice.
I hit 5 after the first half. I was like, oh, yeah, this is happening. Don't get out to too big of a lead. Stop scoring. Keep them on the court. I was like, oh, I need you to get to 20. Everyone else stop scoring. Give it to Christian.
Yeah, come on.
And then I was like, oh, wait, MPJ is going to hit everything in the sight.
We just need Christian Brown lobs, a whole bunch of them.
Dude, Green was slamming that ball last night. In that fourth quarter, man, I thought he was going to bring the rim down a couple times. He was just slamming and hanging there. I'm like, dude, I know you don't get a lot of minutes, but come on. Easy there.
Act like you've been here.
Right?
Act like you've been there before.
Oh, wait, you haven't. You know who wasn't there? Dario Saric.
Yeah, the entire bench got emptied in the fourth quarter. And guess who was still on it?
It's like the 4th or 5th game this season where the whole bench has gotten emptied and he hasn't been out there.
I wonder if at any point Malone has a conversation with Calvin and it's just like, dude, what are you giving me? I have Zeke Najee on my bench right now. We can't get rid of him. And now you sign this other guy. And I don't know what you saw in him, but
he looks worse than Zeke Najee.
Yeah.
Zeke Najee has come on the past couple of games and actually scored points and played some defense.
I thought he was going to get traded.
He's looked like a basketball player. I know, right? Just keep playing like you think you're going to get traded. Embiid even made that joke. He went off for the first time this year because he's been hurt all year. And they're like, Joel, what went into your performance? And he goes, I thought I was going to get traded.
Well, speaking of looking worse, I got to give a quick shout out to Jake and Nate. They're out drinking. I had a chance to see them at the station. They're out drinking. Guys, trust me, they don't look better the more you have because you're still going to have to look them in the eye the next morning, all right? So,
not if you just look away.
That's what light switches are for.
Yeah, you guys thankfully didn't.
Hey, maybe they're Jets fans and they wear paper bags over their heads.
Jake and Nate are definitely not Jets fans. I know that much.
I lost my glasses. I can't see what she looks like.
Yeah. Just put a paper bag over her head. You're a Jets fan now.
They got a steward. They got a steward of the studio.
Wow.
A tour of the studio today and check some stuff out. So good looking out, fellas.
Well, you sure there's nothing mixed in that Gatorade there?
I mean, it was sealed, but maybe we're going back to the 80s and people tampering with stuff.
There you go.
Colin got roofied. We're the 3 best friends that anyone could have.
Welcome to my fridge.
All right, boys. Well, we are upon that time. It is Super Bowl weekend. Starting tonight, really is what I call it. Last Avs game.
I see Nick also has his colors on.
It's pink.
It looks pretty red to me.
No, it's pink because it matches my hat. Yeah, I know. Punk Rock Museum. It's pink.
Yeah, it looks on a scale of 1 to red. It doesn't look pink.
It's pink because it matches my hat. That's why I wear the Pink Panther hat. That's why I bought the Pink Panther hat. So I can wear it with my pink punk rock shirt.
Maybe if you weren't wearing the Pink Panther hat, it might look a little more pink, but it's not Pink Panther pink.
I think it's just the lighting in your room. But we're just going to keep making fun of you and saying
it's one of the old light bulbs that I still have that hasn't died yet.
Yep. Yeah, Nick has his colors on. Everybody.
Nope.
Yep, he left his
Josh
Dover
just like me. Just like me. Chiefs, best team ever.
I have my baseball shirts ready to go because second that clock hits 000, it's baseball season, baby.
Squirrel moment. Did you see the new Hartford Yard Goats special?
Yes.
Unis? Leaf peepers?
The leaf peepers.
God, I need one so bad.
Dude, there's a lot of good ones coming out.
I'll pull it up. Yeah. It's because of all the people who go up to see the leaves changing.
The leafers.
Yeah.
And you remember in Family Guy, the leafers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And so, leaf peepers are basically people who go to just watch the leaves change color.
Like in the mountains.
Yeah, and we get them here too. But
you can watch the aspens change.
Yeah, my dad lives up in Buena Vista, and on Highway 285, there's a spot right there with a bunch of trees over the highway, and people fucking stop and clog the entire highway.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, guys, this is a 55-mile-an-hour road. Don't just park in the middle of it. They'll just stop and hit their hazards. Oh, we're just unloading our stuff. And it's like, no. I don't care about the leaves.
Oh my goodness! Did that?
It was there, and then now Colin has a virus.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to
try it.
All right.
He's trying to rescue a Nigerian prince, and then.
No, it was something else. I got it. It was up, and now I'm like, all right.
He's got it, folks. Don't think he doesn't.
So
there it is.
Great.
The leaf with the binoculars and the eyes looking out.
Wonderful.
It's pretty great.
So when I saw it on Twitter the first time, I thought it said leaf peppers.
Me too. I thought it was leaf peppers.
Either way, I
like the leaf peppers.
Leaf peppers.
Pepper? Like, what the hell is that?
Stupid.
And then I read, I was
at
like,
this point, minor league baseball is weird enough. They can just combine any two words and just make it a jersey and call it good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll buy it easily.
The what?
But yes, Super Bowl weekend is upon us. And
so this is the time of year where we make stupid bets on stupid commercials because that's all I really care about watching right now. I don't care about the halftime show. I don't care about the game. Go Eagles.
Oh, wait, no. The halftime show is going to be dope. There's going to be so much shit talked thrown at Drake. It's going to be awesome. Drake will be.
I wonder how many bleeps are going to be in the halftime show this year.
How many? What?
How many what?
How many bleeps?
Oh, they're not good.
How many?
It's just going to be awkward silences. I feel like.
Well,
they'll just have to edit the
They're going to cut it on the delay. They're going to hit that. Oh, dump that part.
Yep. There's that button. There's that button. There's that button. There's that button. I only had to do that once when I was doing the final word.
Yep. I had a caller curse
in studio. It was a guest in studio. I'm like, oh, I'm awake.
Honestly, that doesn't surprise me.
It was one of the fighters.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's that time where we try to decide who's going to provide us with the best commercial. And as we saw last year, we don't base it on an individual company because there's a lot of companies that are paying for a lot of commercial spaces. We break it down to food category, restaurants, anything that will make it easier, more narrow, basically, so that we can.
It's a wider view.
Yeah, wider net. I'm sorry.
No, more narrow.
Not the exact company, because if it was the exact one, it's hard to judge on some because you can only get rankings for like the top few videos. And
yeah,
so I want you to pick the company, the commercial, and the time slot.
We don't base it on our favorites. It is not based on any of those things. It is based on the most viewed ones within like the 24-hour time span of the Super Bowl. So which ones have been rewatched the most and have gone basically viral?
Yes.
I wish
we will provide our favorite ones as well, though.
Oh, ain't no doubt about it. We'll
Because,
definitely talk.
I mean, that's beautiful talk right there. That's sports talk at its finest, children.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we could talk about my new favorite team, the Kansas City Chiefs, winning their 3rd straight Super Bowl, of course.
Well, let's talk about them losing it.
That's going to be, I mean, that's going to be the big talking point.
I don't know. They got
time on the commercials.
The Eagles have a bug going through that locker room right now, Joe.
Win their 3rd straight Super Bowl.
Yeah, you think so? I think it's definitely. It's one of those
I'm just saying with the whole thing, guys. Since
I don't know. It feels closer than people think. I know we're not picking the game yet or anything, but like, I don't know, man.
Saquon's a different animal, and that's going to be a significant adjustment for that Chiefs team. They haven't really had to deal with a significant running game against them right now.
To quote Kevin Garnett, anything is possible.
Nope.
So
not this weekend.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible for who's going to win the best commercial, though.
Kids,
because it really is
fly.
Up in the air.
Get up on the roof and jump off right now.
So, all right.
Well, so
do we want to break it down?
Yeah, let's do it. We got Post Malone so far with his commercial with Bud Light, so that's where the bar's set right now.
Yeah, that was a playoff commercial. You got to wonder if there's going to be a follow-up with that. So
does it count if it's already played before?
No. It's Super Bowl.
Okay. Super Bowl only.
Okay, so the Post Malone commercial doesn't count, but they might be
during the playoff game.
Yeah. Okay, so I got you.
So,
I was just making sure. So they have to do another one with Post Malone or somebody else for it to count.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the commercials that were newly aired for the Super Bowl, and I know there's some leaks out. I have not gone and watched any of the leaked ones to know if they're any good or not. I think I might have seen one that crossed my screen, but I'm not sure if it was a Super Bowl one or not.
Pick it. Fuck it.
So I'm not sure. Like I said, so this is basically the most viral, popular video that's going out there. And then we do have the different categories. Obviously, there's alcohol, beverages, there's soda,
chips.
There's there's chips, which kind of encompasses most, basically
snacks.
all chips.
There's chips, there's dips.
Snacks. We have insurance.
Well, there's chips. It pretty much incorporates all chips.
I mean, I can't remember what wasn't it something random last year? I wish I had the notes from it last year on what
I can't remember either
because I deleted all the pics from it. I have the book from last year.
We care about this a lot, folks.
Well, no, we do. This is we've done it every year.
This is something that's
it's a tradition.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, but who won last year?
And I'm going to see who won right now, because but I can't remember because I had the notes in my notes, but I deleted the notes from last year's game with who the winner actually was.
Like, it doesn't make it less fun the fact that we don't remember what happened last year. I just think it's funny.
So State Farm, like a good neighbor
with insurance.
Oh yeah, that was they had the Schwarzenegger last year.
Yeah. Get to the chopper. Yeah, that was a good one.
See, I'm trying to find our Super Bowl bet in here early in the year. Chiefs, 49ers. Oh, I guess I didn't write that in. We must have just talked about it. That's all right.
Okay, so the top three.
I don't think it is all right.
Like a good neighbor.
Yeah.
Duncan.
Oh yeah. They're at the table.
The Perfect 10, the Kia EV9. I don't remember that one. Worth remembering, Uber Eats with Jennifer Aniston.
Oh yeah, she forgets everyone's names on set.
Yeah.
With
I can't remember there was a hilarious one I remember at the start of. I was
talking like walking
Super Bowl. It was like a caveman one or something. But then we got phones and like T-Mobile.
Mayo Cat
insurance. Mayo Cat.
The Christopher Walken one had so much promise, but they didn't get enough people to either say really ridiculous shit in a walking accent or do like a really good walking accent. It was just like any of us going, "Hey, whoa, you're talking to my guy all wrong."
All right. So this is how we're doing this.
All right.
Hold on. I got to share this. All
Holding
right.
on.
So whoever gets first pick.
Big money, big money, big money. No whammy. Stop.
Joe, what's the category you're going with?
Oh, it's on the right. That's weird. Why is it not on the top? That's the only wheel I've ever seen that doesn't have the little thing on the top. Fucking, I don't know. Let's go beer.
Joe is going beer. Who's next?
Let's go beer.
Big money, big money, big money. No whammy. Stop.
Nick.
And circle takes the square. Oh, sorry.
All right. No, enough of that.
I'm gonna go restaurant.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
He's going restaurant. All right. All right. So let me get
Where you going, Nick? I'll meet you
down.
All right.
So Joe has beer. We'll just do alcohol. No beer because it could be spirits.
Yeah, there's probably enough whiskey and stuff.
Nick
commercials, vodka,
restaurants, which I think that's fair enough. I am. I'm gonna go soda.
Weight loss.
Good call.
You know, it is the Pepsi Super Bowl halftime, and I don't know if they're spending more money on this halftime, but maybe Coke decides to push in this year and see what happens. So I'm going to go with soda. I wish I had what we picked last year. So Joe's got beer, Nick's got restaurant, I've got soda. No chips. That's surprising. No insurance after we just talked about it, and no cell phone. No T-Mobile or cell phone.
Nope, I don't have one.
Popular last year. Last 2 years they've been popular. So, all right, that's our picks. Now I think it's time to get to the real picks of the week.
Take it over.
Welcome to the Undrafted Uncensored Cast.
I was going to say.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta, wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin, just kind of winging it.
That's right. Welcome into the victory formation, where we make real bets with fake money and keep track of it for the year and see who comes out victorious.
We don't keep track of our commercial picks.
The year. Well, there's no way to really bet. There's no odds on it, so we don't have a bonus. Actually, let's do a $20 bonus if yours is number 1.
Love it.
Just number 1, not the winner. Just number 1.
Perfect.
Okay.
Like if you pick the MVP, not the winner of the game, you got to pick the Super Bowl MVP. You have to.
By the way, I will
to be
say
number
before
1.
we get into,
it just
yeah, it has to be the number 1 pick. But I will say that I put some bets on the Super Bowl MVP. I put $5 on it to possibly be a kicker, punter, or a snapper. That pays $1,000. But linebacker and defensive linemen are also really good odds. And in a game like this, you could see something strange happen because of the big name quarterbacks and running backs. A fumble-rooski recovery could be a good play. So just a little insight. I'm not saying put a whole lot of money on it, but at plus 6,000, I believe it was, for a linebacker, I like those odds.
Did you get the one I sent you?
What?
Did you get the one I sent you?
Oh yeah, it does. If
plus 1,000.
If Kelsey's mom's cleavage will be shown.
I love.
Sure,
this.
Yes, most likely, definitely. But let's get into the winners and losers from this week up until this point. One of us went 4-0, one of us went 1-3, and one of us went 2-2. let's get into it. Well, the one that we all got was the Utah Hockey Club, and we got lucky because the Flyers were up 2-0. Hockey Club forces OT and wins it in OT, so thankfully we did not curse them. Save that tape. It is not always a curse. We move on to Iowa State versus Kansas. Kansas minus 150 favorites come out victorious. So, Nick, you're the only one who lost that one. And that means Joe and I both won 16-67.
Bastards.
Lakers versus Clippers out in La La Land, of course, because it has to be. They both live and work there or play there. The Lakers come out victorious, and I was the only one to believe in LeBron. So that means Nick and Joe both lost that one. And we move on to St. John's and Marquette. And Clayton, our guy Clayton, I hope you're listening to this. Nick and Joe love you, but I'm the only smart one who picked St. John's as they come out victorious, winning 17-14. I won 38 for the Lakers, meaning this week I ended up in first place, winning $88.71, moving into second place overall at 127.21. Joe, you were in second, but still in first. You won $13.57. You're at $156.39. Nick, you lost $13.10, but you are at $71.69. Nice.
Yeah.
Let's get into this week's games and this week's pick'em. We're going to start things off with the Rangers and the Blue Jackets in the NHL. Both teams have 26 wins. This is in Columbus. Blue Jackets have 21 losses and 8 overtimes. Rangers 23 losses and 4 overtimes. No odds for this yet, but Nick, who you got? Rangers or Blue Jackets?
Rangers.
Nick is going with the Rangers. Joe, who you got?
Go New York Rangers.
Right. Joe has the Rangers. I'm going with the Blue Jackets because much like last week, I'm taking the home team.
But you're wearing a red jacket, Colin.
That's okay. There's blue in the Blue Jackets.
I'm upset.
They have red, white, and blue on their jerseys. The Rangers do also.
Oh, okay.
Next, we go to the Celtics versus the Knicks. Celtics 36-16, Knicks 34-17. This game is in New York. Joe, who you got?
There's just something about the Garden, man. The away team seems to play better. Give me Boston.
Joe is taking the Celtics. I am taking the Knicks. The Celtics lost an ugly game yesterday or 2 nights ago. I can't remember which one they lost, but that let's stop that alarm right there. So I don't know. The Knicks are on fire. I feel like the Celtics might be fading a little, or at least looking forward to their break. So give me the hungry Knicks. Joe, Nick, who you got?
The Knickerbockers.
Yeah, I figured.
Next,
we move on.
Again. I'm like, I'll change my pick to the Knicks, Colin. Thank you.
Next, we move on to number 6 Florida at 19-3, facing number 1 Auburn at 21-1. Guess what? I'm keeping with my same trend. I'm taking the home team in Auburn on this one. Yeah, Nick, who you got? Florida or Auburn?
Oh, I've been watching Auburn play, and give me Auburn.
Joe.
Oh, I'm doing it. I'm taking Auburn. Everyone picked the Gators.
All right, I'm gonna log in, and once I can, I'm gonna put money on the Gators.
Love it.
Oh, the game we've all been waiting for. Let's see if these allergies hold off for a moment.
Oh.
Nope, they're not gonna.
Let's just be silent until Colin comes back. I think that's funnier. We'll have a moment of silence for Colin's sinuses.
Oh my goodness! Hello, allergies. Okay.
I think Nick actually froze. I was joking.
Oh, Nick wasn't even trying to have a moment of silence. Nick just
disconnected. That was so much better.
Nick probably would have taken.
I was saying bless you the whole time.
I didn't hear it one time, but the game.
I was saying bless you the whole time.
The game of the weekend, the one everyone's going to be watching. We have the Eagles versus the Chiefs. Eagles underdogs at plus 100, Chiefs favored at minus 120. Not really much of a difference here. I would love to give you some crazy prop bets, but a lot of them aren't available in Colorado, and the ones I saw, they're not really great. But we're just picking the game here, folks.
If
stay tuned on my Twitter and everything like that, and with us, maybe we'll do something that day of with something fun, but we'll see. So Nick, who you got?
Travis Kelce's mom shows cleavage, all of us get $10.
if you put your bet on it, find what sportsbook has it. Nick, who you got? Eagles or Chiefs?
Fly, Eagles, fly. I'm gonna do the Angels in the outfield.
Loves Philadelphia.
I thought you were doing the.
I'm gonna change all your New York picks to the other team.
I hate Philly.
Joe, who you got?
If I'm actually picking the game, I'm picking Kansas City, but I just don't want that to happen, so I'm going to follow my heart. And I'm still gonna. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna take the Eagles.
He's taking the Eagles, and I, of course, am taking the Chiefs, the best team in the history of the NFL. Everything. All hail the Chiefs. Best team ever. Patrick Mahomes, future Hall of Famer, of course.
Nick he can retire tomorrow again. Be a Hall of Famer.
So, I guess that means that as we wrap this thing up, man, Nick is struggling today with his internet.
He's probably saying,
but we'll send those picks out into space as we get ready to wrap this thing up and send it out. We appreciate everybody for liking, subscribing, listening, tuning in. Thank you everyone for interacting on Facebook. Shout out to Nate and Jake, guys from the school participating, Lindsay, obviously, all the people who've listened to us throughout all the shows as we went along. I'm trying to get this thing through so Nick can get back here. But as always, so thank you. Thank you to Clayton, who's always on here. We appreciate everybody who's interacted with us throughout all the times. Our friends, our family, we really do appreciate it. And of course, Michael Spillin, everyone over at e5280sports.com. Make sure you check out all the different podcasts and shows going on. The Wheelhouse will be on Sunday morning, I'm sure. Michael Spillin will be there with it. But for myself, Colin Zanker, for Nick Archuleta, for Joe Goodwin, we really appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Love you. Bye.
Well, we're just going to stop.